President, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. In the late 1970s, in an attic in Bethesda, Maryland, the USA, Peter Jones found 20 letters from his Irish great-great-grandfather, Brian Hunt, to his son John, who had emigrated to the States in 1855. The letters covered the period between 1850 and 1892. Brian Hunt was illiterate, so the letters had been dictated to the local schoolmaster, Patrick McNamara, who had also been John's good friend. Because he was a songwriter, Peter Jones composed a ballad based on the contents of the letters. Kilkelly, Ireland, 1860, my dear and loving son John. Your good friend, the schoolmaster, Pat McNamara, so good as to write these words down. Your brothers have all gone to find work in England. The house is so empty and sad. The crop of potatoes is sorely infected, a third to the half of them bad. Your sister Bridget and Patrick O'Donnell are going to be married in June. Your mother says not to work on the railroad and be sure to come home soon. Urlar, September the 4th, 1859. My dear and loving son, received your long-wished-for letter on the 8th. I hope that you will let me know in your next letter what sort of work you're employed in. This year, the crops are pretty fair, but the potatoes are not very large owing to the long drought of last summer. But what is lost in size is made up for in substance. The old crops are also light for a similar reason. I have been much entertained by the accounts of your letters, but at one instance, greatly terrified to think of the ill treatment of the poor slaves. I remain your loving father, Brian Hunt of Urlar. Kilkelly, County Mayo, Ireland, Urlar, the 22nd of September, 1862. My dear son, I got your letter on yesterday, and I am most happy to hear that you are still well, as myself and the family are at present. We are very much at unease for your consequent on the war, least that it may have been too near where you are, and that you may have had some accident. I am glad to say that our circumstances have not declined since you left, but many are at present of low circumstances, consequent on the failure of crops for the last 4 years, owing to the almost constant wet, and there is no turf of any consequence. No more at present from your loving father, Brian Hunt. Urlar, December the 2nd, 1872. My dear sons, in a deplorable state. We write these lines letting you know the sad news that has fallen regarding the death of your affectionate mother, who departed this life on the morning of the 13th of last month. She never enjoyed better health than she did on the previous week, until the night of the 12th, about the hour of 10 o'clock. She said her prayers as usual, went to bed, and only laid down when she was struck by a severe pain in the head. We sent a messenger immediately for the priest, and she was anointed, thanks be to God. She died in the morning of the 13th, and was buried on Friday the 15th in the churchyard of Ahamore. We hope ye will join us night and morning in praying for the repose of her soul. Goodbye for the present. We hope ye will write soon. B. Hunt. Urlar, 24th of February, 1874. My friend, your father is as youthful looking and as jovial as he was 10 years ago. He says he would like to live in America, convenient to where the tea grows. He's very fond of tea. I see by your letter that the idea of visiting your native place has not left your mind yet. I would very much like to see you once more in Urla. Indeed, we would spend a few days together as we did in times gone by. We had a fine winter, but the spring set in very stormy. Your friend, Pat McNamara. Urla, 26th of August, 1890. From your dear father, Brian Hunt. To John, my dear son, I received your letter a few days ago with your kind remittance of $4 as a Christmas box. I may inform you that although you say the sum is small, I do not consider it so. Your remittances since you went to America has left me independent of others. I have again to thank you for saving me from being in anyone's power. I may tell you that I felt pretty stout and supple until very lately, but I find that my limbs are getting rather weak as I am now approaching 92. It is unnecessary to say anything about the prospect of a bad year. The potatoes are almost gone. The weather at present is more like winter than harvest time. I remain, my dear son, your affectionate father, Brian Hunt. Kilkelly, Ireland, 1892, my dear brother John. I'm sorry that I didn't write sooner to tell you that father passed on. He was living with Bridget, see, she says he was cheerful and healthy right down to the end. Ah, you should have seen him play with the grandchildren of Pat McNamara, your friend. We buried him alongside of mother down in Kilkelly churchyard. Ah, he was a strong and a feisty old man, considering life was so hard. And it's funny the way he kept talking about you. He called for you in the end. Oh, why don't you think about coming for a visit? We'd all love to see you again.